Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Legacy Shinobi here, back with another fiery what if. Today, we're exploring what if Naruto ate Akainu's devil fruit. Imagine Naruto wielding the immense power of magma, combining his chakra with the devastating abilities of the magma fruit. How would the shinobi world react to a Naruto who's literally a walking volcano? You already know this is gonna heat things up in a big way. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, no more stalling, let's get straight into the story. 3 hours after the Kyuubi attack, we see Minato and Kushina and Jiraiya talking with the third Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi, with Minato and Kushina holding 2 newborn children, one with blonde hair and blue eyes, and 3 whisker marks. Her name was Naruko Namikaze, and the other one had red hair and 3 whisker mark with blue eyes. Her name was Mito Namikaze. While Hiruzen was holding a newborn child with black hair and black eyes, his name was Naruto Namikaze. Hiruzen. Minato and Kushina, are you sure what you're doing? Minato. Yes, we are sure. We are leaving the village to train Naruto and Mito to train to master the Kyuubi's chakra while leaving Naruto here. Hiruzen. Minato, you are leaving your youngest child to train your other children to master the Kyuubi's chakra. Jiraiya. Sensei, you must understand that the fate of the elemental nations are in the hands of Naruto and Mito mastering the Kyuubi's chakra. The prophecy says that a child from Yellow and Red will have an ancient long lost power with it. He either save the world or destroy it. Hiruzen. How can you be sure it's not Naruto? Kushina. It can't be Naruto, he doesn't have a chakra system, and he's somehow alive, and Naruto and Mito have the Kyuubi power and the Kyuubi's ancient. Hiruzen. But still, he's your child and you're leaving him behind, and then make me to tell them you two died and Naruto is the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. Minato. Exactly. Hiruzen. Naruto doesn't matter in this because he doesn't have chakra, that means he's worthless and will be back in the graduation exam. Hiruzen. Fine, you win, but don't blame me if it was wrong. Time skip 5 years after the Kyuubi attack. We see a bloody and beaten boy with black hair and black eyes. His name is Naruto, walking in the forest in Kusagakure looking for food, but he stops and looks up and sees a weird red fruit and eats it and sleeps. Time skip. Naruto Pav. As I start to wake up, I see my right arm turned into magma, and I began to panic and thinking of ways how could have this happened. Then I began to focus into my left arm, and it turned back to normal. I realized that I have the power of magma and could turn my body into magma. I started to walk out of the forest, but I bumped into someone. Stop and looked up as I see a very tall and brawny shinobi. He has dark eyes and short dark gray colored hair, as well as a beard and a bulbous nose. He wears the standard Iwagakure shinobi uniform with a left sleeve and a right lapel. He also wears the forehead protector of Iwagakure in a bandana style and bandages around his right arm. Hitsuchi Pav. As I finished a mission to escort a civilian to Kusagakure, I see an injured child no older than 5, maybe 6, bumping into me with black spiky hair and black eyes, with a cut bloody white shirt with a Konoha symbol on it and black bloody shorts. Third Pav. Naruto. Who the hell are you? Hitsuchi. You know it's rude to not to introduce yourself first before asking for another person's name, right? And why the hell are you even here? Aren't you from Konoha or the hospital, and where are your parents? Naruto. Fine, my name is Naruto, I am from Konoha, and my parents abandoned me, and villagers beat me, so I ran away. Hitsuchi. Okay Naruto, my name is Kitsuchi and I'm from Iwagakure, and where are you headed anyway? Naruto. I was heading to either Kumo or Iwa anyway, so I could train and get my revenge on the damned hellhole that's known as Konoha and my parents, just out of spite. Hitsuchi. Why don't I take you Iwa and you talk to the Tsuchikage and see if you could stay in the village or become a shinobi of it if you'd like. Naruto. Fine. Time skip. When they arrive in Iwa and in the office of the Tsuchikage. Naruto Pav. As I walk in the Tsuchikage's office, I see a very short old man with a triangular beard and a mustache that had angular corners, a big red nose and thick eyebrows. The top of his head was completely bald, although he had long white hair on the lower half of his head, which is styled in a traditional Chanmage hair cut, the back of which was tied with a yellow ribbon into a top knot. Inoki wore a green and yellow coat with a red collar. Underneath he wore the traditional Iwagakure outfit consistent of a light green version of Iwagakure's flak jacket and mesh armor. He however had both his sleeves of his shirt, but kept the single lapel on his right side. Along with this, he wore sandals. As I walk in, I say what's in my mind out loud. Naruto. Who the hell is this dwarf old man? Where is the Tsuchikage? Third Pav. As Naruto said this, everyone in the room eyes widened and jaws dropped, and Kitsuchi smacked Naruto and screamed, Hitsuchi. He is the Tsuchikage, you idiotic brat. As Kitsuchi said this, Naruto's eyes widened in shock, and then he screamed, Naruto. No way, you crazy old man, that old geezer looks like he has gone senile. As they kept arguing for a few minutes, Naruto stopped and looked at Inoki and asked, Naruto. Hey Jiji, are you really the Tsuchikage or not? Inoki. Yes, I am, you damned brat. And Kitsuchi, why the hell did you bring this disrespectful brat here anyway? Hitsuchi. The brat is from Konoha and he wants to join the village. Inoki. Oi brat, how do we know that you're not a spy from Konoha? Naruto. First, my name is Naruto. Second, that hellhole could burn in hell for all I care about, and third, I want not only to humiliate Konoha by joining their worst enemy's village, but I want revenge on the parents that abandoned me. Inoki. And who are your parents and why do you want to humiliate Konoha, and why did your parents abandon you anyway? For Naruto. They are not my parents, and second, why? Because they called me a demon, but what they don't know that I don't have the Kyuubi in me, but my former siblings do, and for my former parents think of me with blonde hair and blue eyes, and for your thigh. As Naruto said that, Katsuchi's and Inoki's eyes widened and screamed EVERYONE except Naruto. What? Naruto. For your third question, because I was born with no chakra. Inoki. Why did you choose to join this village out of the others, and you know that others might be going after your head since you're his son, right? And how do you plan on humiliating Konoha anyway? Naruto. By joining Iwa. Imagine what will happen when they hear the son of their precious Yondaime Hokage and Red Death joined Iwa, her worst enemy. Inoki. What do you mean getting revenge against your parents? Aren't they dead anyway? Naruto. No, a week ago I saw Hiruzen reading a scroll and left, and what I read in the scroll that said that they were beginning to train my siblings to master the Kyuubi's chakra, and asking about how's the village reacting to their worthless son who they blamed being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, which is me, and what better way to get revenge than surpassing them all while being a Iwa shinobi. Inoki. If I let you join the village, what will the village benefit from this? And let me guess, you want to be either a Taijutsu master, a Kenjutsu master, or Bujutsu master, since none of them need chakra. Naruto. What I have to offer is a future shinobi of the village and a few jutsus that I managed to copy from the scroll of sealing before leaving, and some clan weaknesses on the village just Inkus Inoki. Which are Naruto. The jutsus are Kage Bunshin no Justu, Bunshin Daibakuha and Kaiten Aokamikyaku, and for clan weaknesses, I know the Byakugan's weakness, which is it can't see behind the second and third vertebrae, and I know the Manjikyu Sharingan's weakness, which is if you overused it, you become blind unless you have some Senju blood in you or cells, and for your guess is partly correct because I plan on being a Taijutsu master, and I have a special ability I can manipulate magma and turn into magma. Inoki. Fine, you could join, but how could you use magma if you don't have chakra, or is it a bloodline? Naruto. I don't have a bloodline. If I did, the blood tests would have showed it, and I don't know how. Anyway, for proof, throw a kunai with a weak exploding tag at me, but first take the scroll which contains the jutsus and Konoha's clan's weaknesses. Inoki takes the scroll and then was told to throw the kunai with the explosion tag, and was first hesitant but agrees. Then he throws a kunai with a weak exploding tag at Naruto, only for it to hit his arm and explode, and smoke erupts around the office only to see with a hole in him, and it began to disappear, but Naruto's skin, hair and body turned into magma. Inoki's and Katsuchi's eyes widened at the sight, thinking the kid was joking, but it was already too late. The magma spread around the room and began to melt and burn the office. As they realized this, Inoki used Jinten on the magma to erase it, and Naruto apologized, saying he unlocked the power a few days ago and can't control it yet, and Inoki says he's going to the academy if he's going to be a ninja, and needs to wait since they start around the age of 8, and since Naruto is 5 he can't go to the academy until then, but he could still train in the training ground since he needs to master his magma ability. Time skip. It has been 8 years since Naruto arrived in Iwakager, and since then Naruto has mastered his Magu no Mi ability and learned a little bit of observation hockey, and has a decent amount mastery of armament hockey, and during these 8 years he joined the academy and is in the middle of the class since he didn't want to reveal his abilities and power yet, and during these years everyone in the village learned he doesn't have a single drop of chakra. Most who knew this pitied him, and others laughed and bullied him in the academy, saying it was impossible for him to graduate. During the academy days he ignored everyone in class except the teacher, and didn't make any friends since he believed he didn't need any friends, and today was the graduation day. Naruto Pav. Today was the day of the graduation exam. As I change into my shinobi clothes, and I look into the mirror, change the black in the jacket with blood red and the orange zipper with a black zipper, and change the orange pant with blood red pants, and change the Uzumaki band on Naruto's arm with a red band with the Iwakager symbol on it, and change his hair and eyes completely black and no bandages, and kunai and shuriken holster on him and no whisker marks on him, and I begin to head towards the academy and still hide my abilities until the time has come for me to use it. Time skip. Third Pav. As Naruto arrives at the academy to do the graduation exam, he arrives to the classroom and sees everyone there waiting for the teacher, and Naruto sits down on a corner where no one sits at and waits for the teacher to arrive. As the teacher arrived, he said the first test will be a paper test, and Naruto answers all of it correctly, and the next test was kunai and shuriken throwing, which Naruto got 10 tenths for both kunai and shuriken, and the third test was a Taijutsu match which Naruto easily beat everyone at, and fourth and final test, which was an ninjutsu test which Naruto failed at since he didn't have chakra, but he still graduated graduated because of his he got top at all other tests. And Naruto take a blood red forehead protector and Naruto and the other graduates were told to wait for next week for the teams be announced. Meanwhile in Konoha, we see the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze explaining to the villagers why he left, saying that he needed to train his daughters to control the Kyuubi's chakra and to teach them how to control the Kyuubi, and because should they lose control the Kyuubi could destroy the village, and that he faked his death with his wife to train them without interruptions during the training, and that he would take over the position of Hokage again. In the academy, we see Naruto and Mito Namikaze pass the exams and wear their forehead protector and leave. Time skip. Back at Iwa, we see Naruto waiting for his team to be announced as the teacher says the teams, but Naruto's and the teacher tell Naruto to go to the Tsuchikage's office to meet his team. Time skip. Naruto Pav. As I walk into the Tsuchikage's office I see an old man with red hair, mustache and beard which tapered off to a point. He was shown wearing a large headpiece consisting of a three-pointed crown-like ridge, bearing both his Iwagakure forehead protector, a ring, and a prominent black piece of armor running across his cheeks and the bridge of his nose. He wore a long-sleeved magenta kimono shirt and pants with mesh armor shirt and fitted black suit underneath, along with calf-length sandals. Around his waist he wore a brown sash that held a brown armor-like breastplate with a pouch in the front, a brown back plate on the back that is connected to the front with mesh armor, and armored lapels falling to the sides, and a girl with short black hair and distinctly pink eyes which are accentuated by her eyelashes running upwards at the corners. She wears the standard attire of the Iwa nin consisting of a red uniform with her right sleeve missing and a lapel over her right leg, fishnet tights and a skirt over them. She also wears regular shinobi sandals and a pair of gloves, and a large boy with dark eyes and black hair that spikes out at the back from underneath his bandana-styled forehead protector. He also has large cheeks and a plump nose which give him an overall look of constant joviality. He wears the red Iwagakure uniform which has both its sleeves and accentuates it with a yellow scarf which here wraps around his neck, and then I turn to the old man, Inoki. Naruto. Is this my team Jiji? Inoki. Yes it is Naruto, and stop calling me Jiji, damn it. Rashi. My name is Rashi. Naruto, could you come meet us at the roof? As he said this he and the other two genin disappeared, and I turned back and said, Naruto. Bye Jiji. And I began to run up the stairs as to meet them on the roof. As I arrives there they begin to introduce themselves, the girl introducing herself to be Kuritsuchi Amizuru and Shes 14 years old, the boy introducing himself to be Akatsuchi and him being 15 years old, and now my sensei was telling me his name was Rashi, and now it was my turn and I say, Naruto. My name is Naruto, my likes are Iwagakure, barbecue and train, my hates are Konoha. My former family and ramen, my hobbies are training, and my goal is to humiliate Konoha, showing them the mistake they made and my former family for abandoning me for having no chakra, and revenge against them. As I said that sensei told us to meet him tomorrow for missions. Time skip. It has been 3 weeks since Naruto met his team and they have been doing D-ranked missions since then, and Naruto has yet to reveal his ability, and Naruto and his teammates have started to get annoyed from the D-ranked missions and now are heading to the Tsuchikage's office to ask for a higher ranked mission. When they reach the Tsuchikage's office they ask for a higher ranked mission, and the Tsuchikage gives them a C ranked mission that can go to a B ranked mission or higher, which is to protect a bridge builder from the wave to secure an alliance which will benefit them with seafood and some materials from the sea. As they accept the mission they begin to head toward the land of waves. Time skip. They had just arrived at the land of waves and are heading towards the bridge builder's house, and while they were walking towards the bridge builder's house when Naruto saw the shape of the village and what's happening to the villagers he started to remember his life in Konoha, and he began the boiling with rage at the sight as they arrived to the bridge builder's house. As they knocked on the door they see a woman with long blue colored hair. She wears a short sleeve pink shirt with the end of the sleeves and the collar being red in color. She also wears a long blue skirt. As she asked what they are doing here they answer they are here to protect the bridge builder so he could complete the bridge and in exchange an alliance between Iwa and the land of wave. When they finish the woman allows them in and she says her name is Tsunami. When they enter they see an old gray-haired, bespectacled man with a large beard and dark eyes. When first introduced, he wore a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants and a pair of sandals. He also carried a towel around his neck and wore a pointed hat on his head. As they headed towards the old man Rashi asked if he was the bridge builder and the old man answered, saying that he is, and he's guessing they're the team from Iwa he ordered to protect him, and they nod as hear the back door open. They turn and see Team 7 which consists of Kakashi Haddock, Kishina Uzumaki, Naruto and Mito Namikaze, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. When they saw each other Naruto sent a glared at them and prepared for a fight should a fight start, and Rashi asked what Konoha are doing here, and Kakashi answers saying they are on a mission and asks why are Iwa here and Rashi replies, saying they are here on a mission that the bridge builder ordered from Iwa as they both understood. They need to work together for the mission, and Kakashi tells them about Zabuza and his subordinate and what happened on the mission, and they understood, but Naruto didn't care and just glared at Konoha, and they begin to introduce themselves to each other. Naruto Pav, I see my sensei telling me and my team to introduce herself, which we are going as starts. Introducing herself Kuretsuchi, then Akatsuchi introducing himself. Now it was my turn. Naruto. My name is Naruto. Aushina mind. That name seems familiar. As the Konohan introduced themselves, I didn't care and didn't listen, just heard their names and ignored the rest as I begin to head out. I hear, Rashi. Where are you going? Naruto. Naruto. I'm going destroy the plants and herbs in the area. Sakura. Why would you do that? Naruto with venom in his voice. As Kakashi-san said, Zabuza's subordinate used Senbon to fake his death, and most likely due to Zabuza being injured from the battle with Kakashi and Kushina, Zabuza's subordinate will go looking for herbs and plants to help with Zabuza's injuries, so I'm going outside to the forest and destroy the herbs to stop Zabuza from having a full recovery. Sasuke. So you're being a coward. Naruto. I'm not being a coward, I'm just using Zabuza's disadvantage against him and not letting him have the advantage. Duck. But as I begin to head towards the forest and deep into it to find where the herbs and plants are, I finally found it and I began to turn my hand into magma and I touched a tree nearby the herbs and plants and begin leave, but before that I checked to see if there's any magma signs in the tree, but there isn't, making it seem as a wildfire. Timskip. As I arrived back at the house, I see the bridge builder with his family and the Konoha Genin panicking about the wildfire, and I see my sensei and team there with the Konoha Jonins as I say, Naruto. I destroyed the plants and herbs to stop Zabuza to fully recover from his injuries by setting the forest on fire, so if I make a guess, we delayed Zabuza's recovery by another week, means we have 2 weeks to train before the attack. Third Pav. As Naruto said that, Mito asked him a question. Mito. Excuse Naruto-san, can I ask you a question? Naruto. You already did, but sure, why not? Mito. Why couldn't I sense you, and why can't any chakra from you? Naruto. That's because I don't have chakra and wasn't born with chakra. As Naruto said this, everyone's eyes widened except his team and sensei, while Sakura laughed at him, saying that how could he be a shinobi, and that he's so weak that he doesn't even have chakra, while Sasuke didn't care and the others pitied him, and Kushina didn't care as she and Minato forgot about him. Naruto kept ignoring Sakura until she said that Iwa was so weak that they are so weak that they accept even chakraless people as shinobi. When she said this, Naruto snapped and grabbed her by the back of the head and smashed her face through the table and into the concrete ground, and the concrete where her face hit cracked underneath and made a mini crater in the ground, shocking everyone as he did this in low Jonin speed and by his strength. Then Naruto said that anyone who insults him or Iwa will suffer the same fate or worse, as he held Sakura, revealing her with an broken nose, and her face was a bleeding mess as he threw her at the Konoha team as Mito began to heal her face since she was taught by Tsunade. Sasuke saw this as an opportunity and attacked Naruto, and Naruto grabbed him by the arm and threw him through the wall and into the living room. As Naruto says anyone else, with his eyebrow twitching in annoyance as he saw no one do anything, he began to head upstairs to sleep, while Kuretsuchi kept laughing at the Sasuke's attempt to attack him as she found it hilarious that someone as weak as Sasuke and Sakura attacked him, and furious at Sakura for calling Iwa weak, but found it funny how the one she kept insulting easily beat her to the ground. Time skip. The next day in the morning, the Jonin called their teams outside to train. As they arrived there, Kakashi began to show his team how to tree walk, while Kushina took her children to train them in their chakra chains since they both have them and know how to tree and water walk, as Rashi took his team to train them in earth-style jutsu, and Naruto asked him if he could train with him in Taijutsu since he needs help with his observation haki, since Rashi knew of Naruto's ability of haki and his Magu Magu no Mi, since Naruto told him and explained him that someone with chakra can't learn haki and what haki is, as Rashi understood what observation haki does and that it gets better faster in battle than not in battle, and Rashi made it Tsuchi Bunshin to teach his team the jutsus while going in a Taijutsu battle with Naruto and adding chakra into his blows to hit Naruto since he has high page amount of chakra, since he's the Jinchuriki of the Yonbi and a S-rank shinobi with the title of Yoten no Rashi. Time skip. It has been 2 weeks since they started training, and during these 2 weeks Naruto's observation haki got better. Now he can predict someone's movements and easily activate his observation haki, and during these times Sasuke kept trying to order Rashi to teach him, and how should it be grateful that a Uchiha elite like himself is asking him to teach him, and kept demanding Naruto to give his power to him since he's an Uchiha elite and Naruto a chakraless nobody, which resulted in Naruto nearly killing him multiple times and him being kept away from the Iwa team by Kakashi, and Sakura kept screeching at them to do what her precious Sasuke-kun says, and that Iwa should be grateful that they get to train him since they're weaklings, which resulted in Naruto and Kuretsuchi nearly killing her multiple times and Kakashi stopping her and Sasuke smoke from getting close, and today was the day as they headed towards the bridge, but before that Kakashi and Rashi made cage buncheons to protect the bridge builder's family. While they were gone, as they headed toward the bridge, they see a thick mist. As they arrive, they see the dead bodies of the other builders in the bridge. As they see 4 figures. 2 of them were Zabuza and the fake Mistanbu, and a man with long brown hair. The long beard which he wore in strands adorned with beads, and his lips were also noticeably dark in color. The top of his head was wrapped in bandages, and he had an eye patch covering his left eye, sprouting from under his Kurigakure forehead protector. His right eye being violet, and he wore an extremely loose, long-sleeved pin-striped shirt and black pants, accentuated by the presence of striped leg warmers matching his shirt. He also wore bandages around his neck, and the other one was relatively short, and she had long, red hair, black eyes, and together with a Kiri forehead protector, she also wore a simple cloth around her head, distinctively tied at both sides so as the ends of the material protrude upwards, while the remainder of hair is allowed to flow downwards. She wore a loose pin-striped long-sleeved shirt with a dark obi around the waist, black pants which got much looser near the ends, resembling hakama, and striped leg warmers, and she wore bandages loosely tied around the neck and had jagged teeth. These 2 were Jinpachi Munashi and Amayuri Ringo. As they saw this, Rashi told Naruto to take on Jinpachi and he'll take care of Amayuri and Kakashi, and Kushina went to take on Zabuza, and Sasuke and Naruto take on Haku, while Mido, Kuritsuchi and Akatsuchi protect the bridge builder, while Sakura does nothing. Naruto vs Jinpachi. As Naruto is facing of Jinpachi, Naruto instantly activates his armament haki and observation haki, while going against Jinpachi as Naruto rushes Jinpachi at extreme speed. As Jinpachi says, "Jinpachi, Bakudo Jutsu, Haparaki Jushi." As he said this, his sword Shibuki began unraveling. A large amounts of exploding tag began to roll around the area Naruto is in, and then Jinpachi swipes Shibuki in a cutting motion, cutting the exploding tags around the area, and the exploding tags explode, but Naruto jumped up high and dodged the explosion, but the Jinpachi appears behind him and cuts Naruto's shoulder and down into his chest with Shibuki, and suddenly the exploding tags at the other side of Shibuki explode as the other genin and the Konohinin watch in shock, thinking he died, while Jinpachi smirks and says, "Jinpachi, well, the brat is dead." But as the smoke clears, they see Naruto standing there with a gaping hole on his body and without an arm, with magma dripping down his body where the hole is. As they see this, everyone's eyes widened and in shock at what they saw, as Rashi realized Naruto didn't tell him everything about his magma abilities, while everyone was thinking what is he and Naruto using the moment of shock. Says Naruto will know some of the Rakishiki techniques from One Piece. Naruto Soru. As he disappears in a burst of speed and suddenly appears behind Jinpachi and punches him in the back with a molten fist, as his fist is inside Jinpachi, and says, "Naruto, Mygo." As he says this, his Jinpachi's body from the inside where Naruto's arm and fist is explodes like a volcano inside Jinpachi, as his body parts fly everywhere around the area, and we see Rashi easily finish off with Yoten Shikuramoto and Yoten Shakigekakin, and with Kakashi about to finish off Zabuza, but Haku appears in front of him and takes the Rikiri to the heart, and Kushina appearing behind Zabuza and stabbing him through the heart with her chakra chains. As suddenly they hear a sound of clapping, they see a short man with shaggy brown hair and sports a pair of small circular black glasses. He wears a black suit with a purple tie, a yellow shirt underneath his coat, and closed-toed shoes with a 300 of bandits behind him. As Tazuna says, "Tazuna, that's Gato." Gato. "Hello." Tazuna looks like the demon's dead, and his friends' boys kill them all, but the girls we play with them later, and the person who kills the bridge builder gets to get whatever he wants. As Gato says that the bandits cheered, but before they could attack, and Naruto kept angrier and asks Gato a question. "Naruto, are you the one who did this to the land of Wave?" Gato: "Yes, I am. What are you going to do about it, kid?" As Naruto hears this, he snapped, his body turned into magma, and said, "Naruto, Geppo." As he began jumping in the air while his right arm kept getting bigger and bigger, as he reached high enough, stopped jumping and pulled his right arm back and screamed as he said, "Naruto, Dai Funka." As he says that, he punched his right arm forward towards Gato and the bandits, as they only see a large magma fist heading towards them. As they couldn't run, as it hits them, the entire part of the bridge blows up, and successfully killing Gato and 300 bandits in one move. As Mistanbus that came to kill Jinpachi, Amayuri and Zabuza saw everything as they burn the bodies of Zabuza, Amayuri, Jinpachi and Haku, as they take the Kiba blade Shibuki and the Kurikirabacho and leave to report to the 5th Mizukage what they seen, as the civilians of the wave who were going to rebel saw this and began to celebrate. Time skip. It has been a week since they finished the bridge, and now at the Tsuchikage's office as they reported the mission. As they finished the report, that Tsuchikage congratulated them for completing a S-ranked mission, since there were 3 of the 7 ninja swordsmen who went rogue, and told them that there isn't a Chunin exams, but instead a tournament happening in the land of iron which every nation is competing at, and to show which nations are stronger, and that no one outside their generation could join, and that there might be nations outside the elemental nations joining in, and that they could promote it to Chunin if they managed to impress him him or one of the Kage or Mifune and that they have 1 week to prepare. As he finished he told the rest except Naruto and Rashi to leave. As they left the Tsuchikage hands Naruto 450,000 Ryo and Rashi 500,000 Ryo and says this is the bounties of Jinpachi and Amaeri. As Naruto is in shock at the amount he got for killing Jinpachi. Inoki and Naruto, before you go I would like to congratulate you for entering the bingo book. As he said this Naruto's and Rashi's eyes widened and as Naruto asks, Naruto, what do you mean Jiji? Inoki, I mean that I would like to congratulate you on being on the bingo book because while you weren't looking Miss Danbu saw everything in your battle with Jinpachi and the massacre and the Diff Mizukage put you in the bingo book. Seeing you as a threat. If you don't believe me look in the newest version of the bingo book at page 46. As the Tsuchikage shows them the bingo book at page 46 as it shows an image of Naruto and saying his name is Naruto, village affiliations. Iwa, rank, genin, sex, male, age, 13, Taijutsu. S. Ninjutsu. None. Jinjutsu. None. Chakra reserve. None existence. Height. 4'9" feet tall. Abilities. He is able to predict movements of his opponents and able to create a black substance in around his body to harden his body and strengthen his blows and able to manipulate and turn into magma at will. Feats. He was able to defeat and kill Jinpachi Nyanashi and after that managed to instantly kill Gato and 300 of his bandits with one move in the Land of Waves. Class. Mid-high A rank shinobi epithet Iwagakur's Megumul Jai bounty. 500,000 Ryo wanted dead by Kiri. As Naruto reads this he smirks, then asked if he go prepare for the tournament and the Tsuchikage nods and lets Naruto began to train. Meanwhile in Konoha, we see Kakashi reporting about the mission and what happened to Minato and the elders which consists of Hiruzen Sarutobi, Danzo Shimura, Amura Midokado and Kahara Utatane as he couldn't finish as he was about to report what happened in the battle in the bridge, but Minato began to scold Sasuke and Sakura, saying that they could have started a war with Iwa because of their actions. As Hiruzen realizes something and says to Minato, but before he could finish they hear a knock on the door. They see an old woman who is remarkably diminutive in height with very thick lips and is wrinkled from old age. She also wears some kind of sea green bubble belt, apparently meant to hold up the spotted print short skirt that all Kuja wear. Also like most Kuja, she wears a cape. Her hair is white and she wears a pink flower on the left side of her head and one girl who is very tall, 6.2 feet tall and slender with long black hair that extends past her waist with locks of hair that frame her face down to her chin and shows off her high forehead. Dark blue eyes with long, voluminous eyelashes and pale skin. She has a narrow waist and very large oranges. She's going to be 2 years older than Naruto and wore a revealing red blouse that showed much of her chest and a loose sarong that exposed her long, slender legs with a green symbol of the Kuja adorned on it. As the old women began to speak. Minato Namikaze, I think you know why we are here. Minato, I honestly have no idea why you are here. Gloriosa. Gloriosa. Minato, have you forgotten about the arranged marriage between the Princess of Amazon Lily, Boa Hancock and your son Naruto Namikaze? Minato, I don't have a oh god I have a son. Gloriosa. Don't tell me you forgot that you have a son. Boa. Can we leave now old hag? It's clear that he has forgotten the marriage and somehow his son. Gloriosa. Can you just meet him then make your opinion about the marriage? Minato. Anbu. As he says that he tells them to find his son Naruto or where he is as and Kakashi realizes that the Naruto kid they met on the bridge was his sensei's son because he just realized they look exactly the same but he has black hair and eyes while Minato has yellow hair and blue eyes. As the Anbu return they say, Anbu. Lord Hokage, we haven't found anything about your son other than that he left the village at the age of 5 and we have found where Naruto is. Minato. Then where is he and how do you know where he is? As the Anbu proceeded to show the Hokage elders, Gloriosa, Boa Hancock and Kakashi the bingo book as they saw a black-haired and eyes version of Minato as Minato, elders and Kakashi's eyes widened, while Gloriosa's and Boa Hancock's eyes widened as they realized that he has eaten one of the last devil fruits, if not the last devil fruit and extremely strong and dangerous at that and knows Haki. As Minato began to speak. Minato. How could be a shinobi if he wasn't born with a chakra system? As everyone heard this, Gloriosa and Boa Hancock understood how he could have Haki and a devil fruit. Since if you have chakra you can't eat a devil fruit and use Haki. As the elders' eyes, excluding Hiruzen, widened as they realized that it's the demon brat wasn't the Kyuubi and the son of the Hokage and the potential they lost. As Gloriosa began to speak. Gloriosa. It seems we will need to go Iowa for an alliance after the tournament in the Land of Iron since you and your sisters will be participating and we can't break an arranged wedding as you two will need to know each other, then we'll discuss about the wedding. As Boa Hancock reluctantly agreed with her and they began to leave, leaving everyone in the room stunned as they messed up an important alliance to Iowa and they lost the 4th Hokage's son to Iowa as they look like they have eaten a lemon. Back to Iowa Naruto Pav. Suddenly I felt really happy for some reason as I continued to train my Haki and Magu Magu no Mi abilities. 3rd Pav. We see Naruto Naruto and his team arrive at the gate of the Land of Iron and immediately start to head to where the tournament. While they were going to where the tournament is hosted, they saw some samurais from the land and ask where the tournament is hosted to make sure they didn't go the wrong way, as the samurai told them where to go. As they arrived where they needed to go, as one of the samurais told them they needed to go up to the 4th floor. As they headed there, they see mostly Genin and Chunin there in a crowd. As Naruto realized it was a genjutsu saying this was the 4th floor, but wasn't, as he saw through this with his observation haki instantly, and his teammates realized this too when they saw the which floor they're in and decided to be quiet and head up. But before that, they hear that all of them voice that is all too familiar, as it was the voice of Sasuke Uchiha calling everyone their morons for not realizing this was a genjutsu, and Kuretsuchi started muttering how stupid he is and how much more competition there will be and how he just painted a target on his head. As they entered, they felt killing intent headed towards them but just ignored it as they went and sat down on a corner of the room far away from everyone and started eyeing their competition. As they see the 3 teams from Konoha next to them talking together, as man ash gray hair and circular glasses saying his name is Kabuto Yakushi and he has information on everyone in this room, as he gathered information due to him doing the Chunin exam 7 times now. As Naruto hears this, he immediately started focusing the Kabuto Naruto Pav. As I hear this guy by the name of Kabuto Yakushi saying he has information on everyone in the room and he'll help them with information, as I started to put all my attention on him. As I hear from them, I managed to get their names. Then Mito asked Mito, Kabuto, can you tell or show us information on the most dangerous and strongest people here? Kabuto, sure I can. As he started using something called a recognition card and explaining to them how it works, as began to show some cards. As the first one showed a thin young man with pale golden eyes and brown hair that reaches to his shoulders, wearing a full body gray suit along with a variant of the village's flak jacket which had very low shoulder guards as well as a zipper and a pouch on the upper right chest. He also wore the village's forehead protector, fingerless gloves, as well as bandages on his forearms. As Kabuto began saying that his name is Utakata and he's from Kiri and he's a perfect Jinchuriki of Irakubi, but before he could finish that, pink-haired Banshee asked what a Jinchuriki is. Then he proceeds to explain what is Jinchuriki and what a perfect Jinchuriki and then what a unstable Jinchuriki is. As he says this, the Konoha team except Naruto, Mito, Sasuke and the boy by the name of Kiba and Yuzuka weren't scared, but the first 2 knew they could have a small chance to beat them, and due to them having the Kyuubi and knowing how to use seals, as the latter were too arrogant to even understand. As Kabuto began to speak again, saying that Utakata uses water release, then he proceeds to show a woman with long, straight, blonde hair bound with taut bandages, dark eyes, and she wore red lipstick. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. She also wore the standard Kumagakure forehead protector, sandals and a kunai holster which was strapped to her right thigh. Ujito also wore bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. As he began saying that she's from Kumo, and she's also a perfect Jinchuriki of the Nibi and she uses fire and lighting release, then proceeds to show an image of a boy with fair skin, green eyes, and short auburn hair and lacks distinctive pupils or eyebrows. He has tanuki-like black rings around his eyes which attributes to insomnia. With a kanji on his forehead which is carved the kanji for love. Eye on the left side of his forehead, which his hair is parted in order for it to be kept visible. He wears a black bodysuit with an open neck, t-shirt-like sleeves, and almost full-length leggings. With this, he wears a white cloth over his right shoulder and the left side of his hips. He has a wide leather band from his left shoulder to his right hip with which he carries his sand board and around which he wraps his forehead protector. As the proceeds to say that his name is Gaara and is the Jinchuriki of the Ichibi, saying that they have no information on what he uses and like the other Jinchuriki have information on them mostly hidden, but the information he has on him that he has done 1B ranked mission without getting a single scratch on him. As I hear this, I start looking around the room seeing the Jinchurikis looking at Kabuto other than Gaara looking at him with a shocked and serious expression on them, and Gaara didn't care and then proceeds to show a 4th card. As I see nearly everyone there turn red at the picture of a young 15-year-old in the name of Bo Hancock, as Kabuto began to speak saying things that she's the princess of the Kuja who reside outside the Element Nation, but not much is known of her, but she's extremely dangerous. As I look around, as I spotted her as I used observation haki, I saw that she didn't have chakra, but she also had haki with her teammates also having it. Then I turned back to see Kabuto pulling out a card with me in it. As he began to speak, as I heard him say, Kabuto, His Taijutsu is S-ranked, and the others are non-existent because he doesn't have chakra but has the ability to predict and see his opponent's movements, and his body gets covered by a black substance that protects his body and strengthen his blows, and has the ability to manipulate magma to his will and turn into magma, and completed a single S-ranked mission. During this mission it says that he went head first towards to fight against Jinpachi Munashi, who is one of the ninja swordsmen of the mist, and used his sword Shibuki to blow up his opponents, and a part of the Hijin Kombi with Kushimaru Kuraier, and this Naruto fought him in a one-on-one fight alone, and the result was him coming out unharmed and killing Jinpachi, but he was exhausted from fighting him, and instantly after the battle a man named Gedo marched towards him with 300 bandits, and he in his exhausted state jumped up and sent a large fist of magma towards them, killing Gedo and his 300 bandits, instantly killed them in that one move, and after that fight he got put in the bingo book as a mid or high A-rank shinobi with the epithet of Iwagakure's Magumuljai. As he finishes I see nearly everyone looking at me in shock and fear, but suddenly I hear someone from Odo say no way that Pipsqueak is that strong, attack with his teammates as I see a mummified person and a guy with death on his shirt and a girl with Senbin rushing at me as they attack me. With Kunai and Senbin the mummified boy attacks me, but I dodged, and they kept attacking me, but I suddenly turned my arms and hands to magma and proceeded to kill them as I turned towards the rest and looked at them and said, "Naruto, anyone wants to try her next?" As the only response I hear is silence and looks of shock and fear from most as I proceed to go back and sit down. Third pav. As suddenly the gate of the door opens as they suddenly see an old man with long gray hair which almost reaches down to his waist, with bandages wrapped around his head and black eyes with distinct wrinkles underneath them, the gray goatee and mustache. Wearing a simple purple kimono-like outfit and sandals as he walks in, he proceeds to introduce himself as Mifune the head samurai and gives them two options while releasing a lot of killing intent at them, and proceeds to say, "Mifune, you contestants in this tournament have two choices. One, stay here for the first trial and have a 99% chance to die, or leave and live." Time skip. More than 50% of the contestants left as the ones who stayed were told they passed and told to follow him. As they follow him they see a snowy forest far away as he told them each team has to get 3 scrolls which consists of soul, body and death, then to open them when they find a white tower for the finals of the tournament, and they have a week to do so. As Naruto and his team get the death scroll as the exam started, they proceed to look for teams, and they found 2 teams fighting each other as Naruto proceeds to send a barrage of magma fists towards them and killing them, and they got from them a soul scroll and body scroll as they proceed to look for the white tower and find it. As they proceed to open the 3 scrolls at the same time as they saw smoke appear, as the smoke goes away they see their sensei there and Tsukikage congratulating them for finishing in half a hour and being the first team there, and telling them they have to stay in the tower for the next 1 week and their rooms are upstairs. Time skip. It has been a week since Naruto and his team arrived and began to head towards the arena in the tower. As they saw this, they saw Mifune began to explain that there will be a preliminary because too many participants ended up passing the second stage. A single round of randomly selected one-on-one matches is held where only the victor will get to continue on. Participants' advancement to the finals is no longer contingent upon the success of their teammates. As he finishes we see the board randomly choosing names as the first match was Sasuke Uchiha vs Yoroi Akato and Sasuke Won, just like in canon. Second match was Shino Aburam vs Yujito Nai. Yujito won due to Shino forfeiting, saying he is no match to a Jinchuriki. As the next match was Isumi Tsurugi vs Kankuro, and Kankuro won, just like in canon. As the next match was Kuritsuchi Kamizuru vs Akatsuchi, and Kuritsuchi won due to Akatsuchi forfeiting. Next match was Sakura Haruno vs Ino Yamanaka, same as canon. Next match was Ten vs Tamari, and Tamari won. Next match was Boa Hancock vs Kiba in Yuzuka. As the match started Boa says, "Boa Hancock, Pistoru Kisu." Boa Hancock creating a heart-shaped bullet to fire at her Kiba by aiming it with her index finger and shooting it to Kiba as he instantly turned to stone. As he turned to stone the match was over and Boa was declared the winner. As the match was over, Mifune asked if she could undo the petrification as she reluctantly, after arguing with Gloriosa, and she says, "Boa Hancock, Mezameo." As Kiba instantly returned to normal. As the next match was Shikamaru Nara vs Boa Marigold. She is a muscled fat giant young woman. She also is one of many of the Kuja inhabitants who has large oranges. Her hair is arranged in a way that it looks like the patterns on a cobra's hood and to some extent a Valkyrie's helmet. She wears a pink bikini with Kuja designs and gold tassels that trail down to her pink loin cloth and purple flaps. She also wears a headband and necklace that is made out of pink flowers. As she enters the arena, Shikamaru forfeits, saying he can't win against her and she probably has some power like her sister, as he heads back up. And the next match was Gaara vs Rock Lee and Gaara won, same as canon. As everyone including Naruto, the Kujas and the rest of the Jinchuriki, as they realized that fighting Gaara wasn't going to be easy, as he's an unstable Jinchuriki and his defense was ridiculously strong and at Rock Lee's strength and mastery of the 8 gates technique. As the next match was Utakata vs Choji Akimichi. As the match starts, Utakata blows multiple bubbles towards Choji using his bubble utilizing pipe. As they reach Choji, who was confused about the bubbles, Utakata says, "Utakata Kibakuho." As he said that, the bubbles explode on Choji, sending him flying and knocking him out. As that happened, Utakata was declared the winner and the next match was Naruto Pav. As the next match started, it was me against someone named Bo Sandersonia. As I begin to head down, see an elderly man of relatively tall height with a very strong defined build and tan skin. Two of his most distinguishing traits are his round glasses and facial hair, which is arranged embattled across his lower jaw. He also has a scar over his right eye, wearing nearly plain t-shirt, shorts, sandals and a large silver hooded cloak. As I continue to head down, I see my opponent, who is a large young woman who is more than 3 times my size and resembles a snake, with a curvaceous figure and large oranges like her sisters. Her head is disproportionately large and wide to her body, and her long tongue is forked, often sticking out of her mouth, and has sea green eyes, and she dresses in very revealing clothing. The green bikini top with wide irregular patterns, a white cape over it. As I arrived, I hear Mifune say, "Mifune, begin." As the match began, instantly headed towards enhancing my arms and hands with armament hockey. As I do this, my arms blacken as I punched her in the stomach. As I do this, she coughs up some saliva and gets pushed a bit back. As I was about to strike again, I see a large snake tail strike me covered in hockey. As I got hit and get flying to a wall, as I see her appearance change to a humanoid snake person, with her having light green scales around her body and a large anaconda tail where her legs were. As I activate start to turn my hand to as I try to hit her, but I realized that her strength and speed got enhanced with her flexibility. As I began to continuously use Soru to run in circles to try and confuse her. As I do this, I see a slave mark on her back, as I realized why her and her sisters hate men and why they hide their backs, as they were always tense when someone was behind them. But I didn't let that distract me as I continued to run around her using Soru. As I began to use Shijin infused with Haki, Magu Magu no Mi and Soru to attack her, as I scratched and burned her multiple times with Shijin, but I see a large snake tail infused with Haki above me, striking me to the ground, then sending me flying towards the wall. As I started to bleed, as a bit of blood started dropping from my forehead, as I started to punch the air while sending huge Haki infused magma fist to the sky. As I say, "Naruto Raisei Kaizen," as I create a great number of magma fists that I fired into the air in order to let them rain down upon the battlefield, causing enormous amounts of area damage. This looks like a cross between a meteor shower and a volcanic eruption. As I looked at my work to see a hurt Sandersonia 3rd degree burns around her body, about to fall face first, and then show her back, which the cape she wore was burning fast, as everyone was about to see the slave mark. But before that, I say, "Naruto Inugami Guren," as create a wave of magma shaped like a dog's head and launched it towards where her slave mark is tattooed at. As I not only burned her back, but I permanently removed the slave mark by permanently burning the tattoo off her back and replacing it. The 3rd degree burns, as she is now unconscious. As I was declared the winner. Time skip 3rd Pav. We see Naruto heading out of the tournament tower, as he was told he had a month to train, as the other Cage and the Tsuchikage are coming next month when the finals of the tournament starts. He is stopped by the elderly man he saw when he was heading towards his fight with Sandersonia, as he says, "Hey kid, Naruto. Who are you, old man, and what do you want?" "Rayleigh. My name is Silvers Rayleigh, and for what I want is that I want to train you in hockey, since yours is decent at best." "Naruto. Fine, old man, I'm guessing since you know what hockey is, you know how to use it." As Rayleigh nodded as he showed him his hockey and told him to meet him in the snowy forest tomorrow. 3rd Pav. We see Naruto and the other competitors on the arena swap the water and the bridges with concrete, and the top of it there is a room where the Cage and Mifune are watching. As the only one who was missing was Sasuke Uchiha. As the proctor was saying, the first match was Naruto versus Neji Hyuga. As the match started, Neji started saying things like he is destined to win and he could never defeat him, and insulting Iwagakure and saying he heard something about Naruto, as he reveals to everyone that Naruto is the abandoned son of the 4th Hokage, and that the 4th abandoned him for being weak, and a disappointment as he kept insulting him. Naruto snapped and using Soru appears behind Neji with his arm and hand turned into a magma. As Kakashi realizes the technique, as he tells the proctor to stop the match as he punches into Neji's insides, he says, "Naruto my go. As Naruto says this and before anyone could stop it, Neji explodes into magma as his body parts are explode and thrown around the Colosseum as the Cage and Mifune looked impressed at the move and speed of Naruto as Minato looked livid as he realized they lost a Hyuga prodigy, and so did everyone from Konoha as everyone from Konoha began booing as Naruto snapped and screamed, "Naruto! Every one of you civilians shut the hell up, we are shinobis not civilians, we shinobis kill. It's that or die, that's how life works, it's either kill or be killed and that's that, and any shinobi who doesn't agree then why did any of you kill, why did war start, it's because that's how the way the world works. For example, Minato Namikaze killed 1000 shinobi in a blink of an eye. If you didn't want anyone to kill the anyone then you must really had a fourth Hokage. Every shinobi in the world is only the weak will fall to the infernal and the strongest survive, as this is the way life works and the way of a shinobi. As he says this everyone went silent after that, but everyone, the experienced shinobi elders of the villages and the Cage, agreed wholeheartedly with his statement and couldn't disagree. As the next match was Sasuke Uchiha vs Gaara. As Sasuke was nowhere to be found and got disqualified, as the next match was Utakata vs Yujiro Nai. As before the match started, Yujiro forfeited, saying she knew when she was outmatched. As the next match was Boa Hancock vs Boa Marigold. Before the match could even start, Marigold forfeited. As the next match was Kankuro vs Tamari. As Kankuro forfeited due to his puppets being destroyed. As the next match was Gaara vs Naruto vs Utakata. As the match started, as both Jinchuriki transformed into their Biju as Naruto while he sent some Haki-infused magma fists into the sky during the time they were transforming. As when they fully transformed they try to stop Naruto, but Naruto says, "Naruto, Rise Kaizen." As magma was about to rain down as Jinchuriki started charging Biju bombs at Naruto, as Naruto kept jumping in the air as Kakashi and everyone on the bridge realized what he was doing, as Naruto's right arm kept getting bigger as charged it with Ryu Haki. He sent it towards the two Jinchuriki in their Biju state while saying, "Naruto, Die Funka." As magma started to rain down and the Jinchuriki sent their Biju bombs at Naruto's Ryu Haki infused large magma fist won the clash as it hit the Biju off the magma rain. As it ended they see the entire Colosseum destroyed with both Jinchurikis unconscious as Naruto once standing tall while being injured since the Biju bombs blew up when his magma took over and injuring him. Time skip as they had the arena fixed. As the next match was Tamari vs Kuritsuchi Kamizuru vs Boa Hancock. As the match starts, Boa Hancock wastes no time and uses her Hashoku Haki, knocking both of them and every civilian there and any low jonin and below with her Hashoku Haki, as she was declared the winner and was told the final fight is in a 1 hour. As she heads back where she was at inside the Colosseum, when she heads back there Sasuke arrives and asking who his opponent is, as the proctor says he's late and can't compete and telling him the last match is between Naruto and Boa Hancock. As he heads inside there and sees Naruto and Boa Hancock and began demanding them to forfeit and give them their place since he is a Uchiha elite, and began to demand Boa Hancock to be his wife as he is an Uchiha elite. As everyone was disgusted including the Cages, excluding Minato, and Mifune saw what was happening since they needed see the competitors as Boa Hancock and her sisters were about to attack, but before Boa Hancock or her sisters could do anything, Naruto began to insult Sasuke as Sasuke started charging the Chidori and ran towards Naruto trying to kill him as the Chidori went through his chest. As the Cage, excluding Minato, and Mifune watched in shock as they saw Sasuke kill Naruto, but they saw Naruto turn his hand and arm into magma and punches inside Sasuke as he says, "Naruto, my go." As Sasuke blows up into magma as his body parts gets flung everywhere, as the elders of every village watched this with the daimyos as the daimyos came to congratulate everyone, but before they see Sasuke demanding things and attack Naruto and Naruto killing him, the nations as the Konoha elders, excluding Hiruzen, began demanding Naruto's head as Naruto heard and saw this and said, "Naruto, this was just self-defense since he attacked and tried to kill me first." As everyone here saw it in the Cage including Mifune did, as the Konoha elders shut up since they can't do anything about it, as the daimyos congratulated them, with the Cage doing the same to getting in the final rounds and left with the elders as the fire daimyo was glaring at Minato and the elders as they headed back, as so did the Cages and Mifune. As we see Naruto leave the area, we see the Kujas chase him as he stops somewhere no one could hear them as the Kujas come out as Gloriosa was chasing them to make sure they don't do anything stupid. As Boa Hancock says, "Boa Hancock, why did you strike my little sister Sandersonia in the back when the match was over, since you were about to win it anyways?" Naruto, "As I was circling her with Sora I saw a slave mark on her back, and since you didn't like anyone seeing and tensing every time someone was behind you, I realized that you didn't want anyone to see it, so before anyone could see the slave mark I burnt it off her back." As he says this, Naruto leaves as he hears the sisters thank him, while Boa Hancock was in shock as he saw Gloriosa stop him and says, "Gloriosa, thank you for doing that, Naruto, and stopping her from doing something stupid to the Uchiha kid, as I wanted to tell you that you are in arranged marriage with Boa Hancock and that will make an alliance with Iwa, as you know, since your parents signed you up to it." Naruto, Even though she is extremely beautiful, I would like to know her better and then see if we both agree to get married. As he says this, shocking the Gloriosa and Boa Hancock and her sisters, as they didn't think that he would reply like that and thought he would instantly agree, but didn't, as Boa Hancock began developing feelings for him little by little. Time skip. As the match starts, they both stop as they see an orange-haired man, and he said, "Let the world feel pain." As he says this, Naruto realizes the amount of power he was putting in the attack, and before the attack hits, Naruto uses Soru and covers Boa Hancock as he uses himself as a meat shield while covering himself with Haki to protect her, as if the attack hit her, she would have died, as he doesn't know why he did it, but had a feeling of doing it, as Boa Hancock watches in confusion, and before she could react, as the man screamed, "Shinra Tensei." As he said those words, destroyed the entire Colosseum and the entire forest, while leaving a huge crater in the land of iron that is the size of a hidden village. After he did that, we see the 5 Page and Mifune get out of the rubble, and an injured Naruto get out of the rubble with Boa Hancock, as they saw the other Jinchurikis get up also, as they saw the man who destroyed the entire place, who was with 9 other people wearing the same cloak, as they attacked everyone there, as they saw a blonde-haired man with a crunched back heading towards them, as Naruto saw them and sent a huge amount of magma fists towards them, as crunched back man blew up as something came out of him, which was a red-haired man, as Naruto got a clear view of both of them, as Naruto recognized them as Sasori of the Red Sands and Deidara the Mad Bomber, as then Sasori proceeds to reveal his third Hazekage puppet, as Naruto was shocked, and he realized that he needed to destroy that puppet, as he sent a large amount of magma towards the puppet as he destroyed it, as he pissed off Sasori, as Sasori proceeds to reveal his puppet body and his 1000 puppet technique. As he did this, he sent his puppets while Deidara was blowing up everything on his way, as he kept blowing up and killing the samurai and some jonins who came in the exams toward him, as Naruto began sending Haki-infused magma fists in the air, as he says, "Naruto Raisei Kaizen." As he does this, he not only destroys the 1000 puppets, but kills Sasori and fatally injuring Deidara, as Deidara was about to run away, but Naruto jumps towards him and punches through his chest, killing him. As he did this, he saw a gray-haired man get sealed away by Minato and Jiraiya, and a man with black strings coming out of his body be killed by Hiruzen and Danzo, and a blue-skinned man be killed by Rashi and Mei, while Pain was facing Inoki and Mifune, as they destroyed the 6 paths of pain, and while Zetsu was dead with black flames burning his body, while Konan was killed by Naruto's magma, and Itachi was dead as he was killed by Obito and Pain. As this happens, we see Naruto heading towards Obito as he tries to attack Obito, but phases through him as Obito stabs him with a chakra rod through his shoulder. As he does this, Naruto tries to punch him again as he phases through the attack, as he proceeds to ruthlessly beat down on Naruto. As he kept on beating down on Naruto, the Raikage was about to attack Obito, as suddenly a gust of wind hit as a man proceeds to walk out of the shadows, revealing the ghost of the Uchiha as Madara, as he was alive due to Nagato Pain reviving him, as he proceeds to battle the 5 Cage, going with him, as Naruto finally figured out Obito's ability, as when Obito went to finish him off, Naruto's hand ripped out his Sharingan eye and crushed it, as Naruto say, "Naruto Inugami Guren," as he sends and create a wave of magma shaped in a dog's head towards Obito, killing him. Naruto Pav, as I sent my Inugami Guren, as I succeeded in finishing of the masked man, as I headed towards where Madara is. As I headed there, I saw Madara and his perfect Susanoo about to finish of Tsuchikage, as I screamed, "Naruto stop it, I said stop it." As I screamed this, a dark red Haki came out of my body, as this knocked out everyone other than the Page, while the Cage were brought to their knees, and some of them nearly went unconscious, and Madara was stunned. Third Pav, as Naruto released his Conqueror's Haki on Madara, as he knocked out everyone except the Cage, as they were brought to their knees and nearly unconscious, as Madara was stunned in his perfect Susanoo. As Naruto began to shoot Ryu Haki-infused giant magma fists, as they kept getting bigger with both of his arms started to get bigger and bigger while shooting in air. He says, "Naruto Akina Raisei Kaizen," as he nearly destroyed Madara's perfect Susanoo with, as the large magma fist started to fully destroy his Susanoo, as they kept raining down on Madara's Susanoo, as Madara lost his arm and one of his eyes, as half his face was scorched, as he laughed and pointed up, as Naruto and all the Cage looked up as their eyes widened, as they saw 3 meteors begin to fall on them, as Naruto started to make his arms bigger and bigger, as he said, "Naruto Niju no Dai Funka," as he sent 2 ginormous magma fists infused with Ryu Haki, as he managed to destroy 2 of the meteors and nearly destroyed the third one, as and Inoki destroyed the third one, as Inoki used his particle style and used his lighting release, as they destroyed the final meteor, as Madara uses almighty push to destroy everything in his path, as Naruto got sent flying with the Cage, as the Cage could hardly stand up, as they wasted all their chakra to stop Madara, but failed, as Madara began laughing, as Naruto was lying on the floor hardly conscious, as thinking he won, he began to head towards the now, as he stabbed Naruto on the back through the heart, as suddenly a fist of magma punched through his heart. As he looked back at Naruto's body that he stabbed was a magma clone, as Naruto was banging him, as the last words Madara heard were, "Naruto Mygo. As Madara's body blew up with magma killing him as the attack was finished as thousands of people died to the Akatsuki's and Madara's hands tonight. Time skip. It has been 3 years since then as Naruto became the 4th Tsuchikage and married Boa Hancock as all the villages allied themselves up, but Naruto is always on edge with Konoha. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed exploring this what if with me. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. Your support truly makes a difference, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more.